welcome to another video. In today's video, it's a bunch of stuff. First, we're going to start off and kind of end a couple playlists. So there's some playlists on my channel that are never going to continue. That would be the solar trailer build. That would be the sewage treatment plant build, and the whole like tiny home container playlist build, right? So I gave away everything to the solar trailer build. Somebody show up, they'd buy a trailer, and I'd be like, hey, you want this? Hey, you're buying a truck, you want this? So I just gave all that stuff away. I gave away probably about $100,000 worth of I spent about $100,000 on the stuff that I just all gave away, right? And I started, let's just go back a little bit. So going into the election for, I don't know how many months before, I was living with two sets of life plans, okay? Depending on who the president was, is depending on how my life was going to go, right? And that's pretty annoying, honestly, to, be waiting to like do stuff because the political landscape in the country you live in is such garbage and corrupt. So the morning of the 7th, I woke up and I started packing, selling stuff, giving stuff away, listing stuff for sale with the goal of getting out of the United States before January 20th, okay? And I did it. And I'm not to the point right now that I wanted to be when I made this video, because every single thing is taking me multiple attempts to accomplish. So crossing the border, everything was really going good until I got to the border. And it's 100% my fault. In my head, I had it where registrations for your vehicles came on the title. That's how I remembered it. And you would just rip them off and throw them in the glove box, and that was it. And then when you went to get your new tags, they just gave you tags and you put those on. So that's what was in my head. Okay, but that isn't reality. It might have been like in the past that way, but no, apparently, and I've never been asked for a registration in my life. Like every time I've been pulled over, which is not a lot, it's at most license and insurance, right? Like I never, because the tags, right? If the tags are, and I don't drive bad vehicles, so I just completely flubbered that. Didn't have a registration for my brand new trailer, which I probably threw it in the garbage, just not even realizing that came with the tags, right? And I didn't have a valid registration for my truck. So I get to the border and they want to see in the back, which, why wouldn't they, right? I've got this 14-foot cargo trailer. Well, I bought these A-bus locks, like supposed to be just fancy, high-end. They were like $70 a piece. I bought 3 of them to lock my trailer. Okay, combination locks, right? So no matter what, you don't have, oh, I forgot the key somewhere. You got a combination lock, you can get in there. Super good. Yeah, right. One of them stops working at the border. A-bus, I hate you. I hate you. Your fancy lock broke at the border and would not open. I sat there and did this shit for a fucking hour. I hate A-Bus. Worst locks you can buy. Don't buy an A-Bus. I hate you, A-Bus. Now, imagine the experience I'm going through here now. I'm fucking sitting at the border. I can't get the trailer open. I don't have the right registrations. And they're like trying to get me to like show them an email with the registration or something like that. Well, my laptop's so old, the battery doesn't work. I don't have, and you cannot get registration emailed to you. You can't look at your registration online. I don't know. I don't know where the freaking, oh my God, it's a piece of paper that you could literally print on a damn regular piece of paper. Zero special to it. Why it's treated like, I don't know. But it's just another one of those things that the United States government, Oregon government, I honestly, like, what's so special about the fucking registration that you just can't fucking email it to me? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, they'll fax you a letter with the information on it. So, they asked me to leave. You gotta go back. So now, I'm on the phone getting registration somewhere in San Diego, maybe? Driving into the middle of basically a city with a freaking trailer. I mean, nightmare, right? Now, also, when I'm leaving there, the agent says, don't come back here. Go to the next one over. And I said, oh, the one for the trucks? Because, like, on the way there, I saw a sign, trucks crossing the border, right? And I'm like, am I a truck? Because I have a big ass trailer, you know? And so now I've got the registration papers and I'm headed back and I go for the trucks. And I sit around the trucks for probably about an hour when I finally get up to a point where a Mexican official sees me and says, this is for commercial trucks only. Okay, great. Now I get led back out of there, go on down to the next one. By the time I get there, it's so late. It's just, there's traffic. It's nuts. Like my first one, I just hit it perfectly. I was just like right in there, you know? And it was just, now it's hella late, right? And I don't know what's going on. And I looked up what I needed, but whatever I looked up didn't give me shit for information, you know? Like, I had my Mexican insurance, but that was it. And I probably could have saved myself enormous nightmare had I gone through some process with the Mexican government before. Like if I would have, probably should have done that right away, but you know, I'm just scrambling to get out of the country, right? I'll deal with the details. And so I literally get to some portion of the process and they're like, you have to have like some kind of like business thing because I've got a trailer load full of stuff and I can't open it. I still can't open my trailer. I'm still doing this shit on that A-bus for hours. I hate you, A-bus. I hate you. You're the worst locks ever made. Retire. sell your company to like a child's toys manufacturing company, I think would be a more appropriate. I have no idea. I had to get the lock cut off to get in the trailer. And this was after I was already in. Somehow I could open one door of the trailer, this little side door, right? Which is just packed. You can't even see in there. I mean, they had me go at the first one, driving back and forth through their x-ray machine 3 times. So I don't know if that information followed me. I don't know what, but I got out, I got into this. So now that was at the first one. Now I'm back in the third. Sorry, I missed a part. So I went back. Now I'm caught up. So now I'm here in the place with the trucks, and they're saying you gotta have like some kind of a business guy that does something with something with the official guys, and then so he's on the phone and he speaks perfect English, and then the guy here, his English is just kind of okay. And then people walk up and ask, like official people walk up and they're like, well, what's going on? They're speaking Spanish, but I kind of get the gist of them. They're like, what's going on with this guy? And this guy's like, blah, blah, blah. And then these people are, oh, and I hear him say, mañana. I know what that means. Tomorrow. And I'm like, right? So the dude's like, it's going to be $1,400. Okay. Just out of nowhere. Like there was all this like, it's too late and all this stuff. And okay, $1,400. Okay. And now you take this paperwork and go to this other office, and then you give them more money, and then you're good. Okay, good. Now I got some paperwork. I'm good, I think. No idea. And now I proceed to go to Ensenada. I go there, I get a hotel. It's a nice hotel. The cheapest hotel of the trip, $50. Super nice. Room, clean, everything nice and new. So get up in the morning, wander around trying to get some food and stuff. And I basically just ended up like getting some coffee and a bowl of so birria is different in Mexico. It's like soup. So now I'm eating this beef soup for breakfast. Ugh. I mean, it was good, but I'm just not a savory breakfast person. And that was brutal. And so I pretty much hardly ate back on the road. And it's like, yeah, it's now a 2-day drive to get to La Paz, which is where the ferry is. Okay, so 2-day drive. Get up, get on the road, get gas. First day, everything's fine except the road. The road's nuts. Like the potholes are nuts. They're literally nuts. Potholes on top of the squigglies? Oh. The first day on the road to La Paz, I think, yeah, it was the first day. I blew a tire. Okay? So now I'm not quite to, literally the hotel is called like the halfway point, right? And I'm not there. I'm at a gas station, which range anxiety. Doesn't matter if it's electric car, diesel, whatever, if you're driving and you don't know where the next gas station is, it's a little stressful. And it's like that whole drive is like off grid. Like there's freaking nothing for so long that it's like every gas station I would just stop at, right? Do walk around the trailer. Okay, so hit a gas station. It's after dark. And I'm doing my walk around. Before I even get around the corner, the gas station attendant is pointing at the tire. I get around the tire and it's exploded out of multiple holes. Like The rims just bent to hell. And I heard a giant explosion at one point. I mean, these potholes are like this deep in some places. I literally driving down the road at like down to like 2 miles an hour at sometimes, 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour. And you're like, oh, it's a good part of the road. And then bam! Just like, ah. My trailer is so trashed from that. Like, the whole trailer is just wobbled from that drive. Because I would get up to speed, okay, we're good, and then bam, there would be another one. And so, still at the gas station, the tires exploded. And this other dude is like hanging out there, bullshitting with the gas station attendant, right? And he's like, and I'm like, the lock is still locked. Like I can't get in the back of the trailer. I got a spare, I got a jack, I got everything I need, but it's locked in this trailer thanks to these A-bus locks. Garbage, don't buy A-bus. Ah! So I'm there, you know, like it's gonna work after freaking days of yanking on this stupid thing. 2 days, you know. But it's like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Stress is just, well, this dude's like, I got a tire, dude, we broke the guy's, he had 2 jacks in his truck, which I think I know why. You're driving around, you gotta have extra tires, jacks, you gotta be ready for your tires to be completely messed up. If you're driving on Baja California, it's nuts. Not even talking like the Baja rally. Like just the damn road is rally. Like, whoa. So, super cool guy. Got his email. Helps me out. I give him $100 cash, 100 or 1,000 pesos, right? So it's like probably like 150 or something bucks, a little more than that, right? Just give it to him. Like he didn't ask for anything. I'm like, just take it. And so now I'm on the road. I get to the hotel. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, well, I need to deal with that tire because I got this. The tire's on the right size, right? And I figure that's bad. So I want to get, the right tire on there. Okay, so the mistake I made now is not just continuing on my journey and then when a tire place presented itself, going there. No, I went off looking for a tire place in the closest town. Oi, so this town, the locals there's checkpoints all over the place with military, I think, or some kind of maybe police, I'm not quite sure. There are a lot of different kinds of police and military they all have big guns. The guys with the big guns are at the checkpoints. Very nice. It's unnerving though. Anybody with a gun, I don't care if you're a good guy with a gun or a bad guy with a gun, I'm unnerved by the gun. Like the gun makes me nervous, regardless of who is holding it. So when there's people with guns, it's like just because there's guns, not because I'm doing anything or or I have a problem with the cops. No, it's the guns, the big ones. The little ones on the sides, I don't give a shit. Little gun like that can kill you just as dead. It's just the big fucking guns, and they got whole goddamn boom, 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 type shit up on the trucks and just whoo. So anyway, now I'm pulling into this random town looking for tires, and the locals have taken over the checkpoint. And they're stopping people and getting money from them. So nobody ever tried to charge me for any money. This guy's like frutas and he was just playing a role. It was kind of funny. Okay, here's like 50 pesos. and then you get a pass. And then I drove like a little bit down the road, and then I had my epiphany that I should not be looking off the trail for tires. The trail has to have tires, right? Get back on my route, right? And I did. Boom. All right. Hit a tire shop. Tire shop has a grinder. Cut off that broken piece of junk A-bus lock. Oh, I hate you, A-bus. Because if I would have been able to open the back of the trailer on the first time, they might not have freaking worried about the stupid registrations. Because the tags were all good and I had the titles, right? It's the A-bus. It's like just like you got too many problems, bro. You don't have your thing and your trailer won't open. Thanks, A-bus. Can you kick me some hundreds of dollars that you just cost me because your lock's crap? Right? I mean, I buy a lock and it just me for hundreds of dollars. Oh my God. Yeah, because I probably wouldn't have had to pay that $1,400, $1,450, right? Because the first time it was just like, yeah, they were ready to just let me through if I just had the registration and or the lock going, right? So anyway, cut the A-bus off. Not even a month old. And they beat the rim back into the ground, put on a new tire, and away I go. Okay, now this is day 2. So now I'm going, and I go through some crazy mountains that are very steep, okay? And there's semi-trucks that are, in some cases, just blowing by you. Like, I don't know if their tires just don't register the potholes. Like, that's too big. Like, I don't know, but they fly down the road and they pass me like crazy, and then I'm slowing down to go through potholes. So, and then sometimes, you have to pass them because they can't make it up the hills. Okay, so just through these crazy hills, get down the bottom of the hills. There's a gas station, pulling over the gas station, walking around the trailer, and not the wheel that the tire exploded on, but the one in front of it is smoking out the center of the rim. Like, what? The little rubber cap has blown off the tire. Like it heated and bloop. So there's no more real rubber cap. Okay, great. Now I gotta find a mechanic. Okay? So I'm freaking, stop. Where do I go? This person says, go there. I go there. They go there. I go there. And they got a dude that speaks English and they can take care of it, right? But I get there and I'm just like, maybe it needs some grease. I don't know, right? I have no idea what's going on. You ran out of grease. So I'm like, hey, can we just reset? And they're like, and it was so hot. It was just so hot. They're like, and I'm like, yeah, we gotta go at it. We gotta figure out what the problem is, right? The brake exploded. Like the brake inside the wheel just gave up. This is a brand new trailer. So it broke at some point and then just rattled the parts. Just rattled around inside the wheel thing, right? And it made that so hot that it cooked the bearings and the seals for that. Lucky it didn't do it might have done some permanent, I don't know. I made it here, nothing smoked again, but yeah, so that took hours. Now in one day, yeah, because I had the night before I got to the first hotel is when we were changing the tire in the parking lot of the gas station, right? Such a hassle. We couldn't get the trailer jacked up. And dude literally broke one of his jacks, And then the next day, it's going to a tire place, getting a new tire, getting it put on there. They're beating the rim back into round. And then Now the other thing goes wrong, and so now I'm running late, right? And they fix it, and I hooked the dude up. That was like, that was about 2,000. I don't. The tire was 700 pesos, and then the rim or whatever, the wheel thing, the bearings, that was 2,000. Basically 1,000 for the parts and 1,000 for the labor, pesos. Okay, so now I'm going. It's like there's hotels, but like I got my trailer. My truck has a badass alarm, but I'm pretty much like focused on staying in like places that have a big enough parking lot that it's easy to get in. And a lot of the hotels I'm driving by have like, you just park in front of them, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I'm just like, I'm gonna stick it out and make it all the way to La Paz tonight. Okay. I get to La Paz, I forget to turn off my bright. I get pulled over. Lucky for me, all he wanted was money, which it was $100. Dollars. I didn't have pesos, which everybody's like, 500 pesos would have been plenty. I had no pesos. So, and that's just from forgetting to turn off my bright. I installed a bright on my truck. Whoa, if I hadn't done that, I don't know what I would have done. Because my brights on my truck suck, and I was in the middle of nowhere, black as black, dodging potholes. So the thing was such a good call on my part to put that on the truck. Like, and I did it myself. So the I get paid a couple $100. Now I go and I find a pretty decent hotel, Marriott. I stayed at a lot of Marriotts. They all had parking lots. Their staffs were all super nice. And so I get there, I pay for one night, I get up in the morning, I go into town. This is where I fucked up this time. Instead of just going straight to the ferry, I went into town and actually had gluten-free pancakes at a delicious restaurant that was like just awesome. And I was like, it's always that. It's just like these little awesome things that you decide to do that end up just completely fucking you over in the whole big scheme of things. Because had I just gone straight to the ferry, I would have been there early enough to catch the office. The office for what, you might ask? For my paperwork. I didn't have the correct paperwork. So they asked me for paperwork. Whoop. I busted out that thing I got up there in Tijuana. Or no, it wasn't Tijuana. I mean, it's in the next one over, whatever. And they're like, yeah, but where's the other thing? And I'm like, what other thing? This is what I got. No, you're supposed to have this other thing, and da-da-da-da-da. And I thought, that's what I had. What is that then? This is, I don't remember what, it's customs or something maybe. So now, I don't have the right paperwork, right? And there's cars. So many cars. Because when I got taken to go back to the United States, so I got rejected, they took me and a few other cars that were all rejected through this crazy path, and that crazy path was loaded with hundreds of cars that had just been sitting there. As a matter of fact, there was a damn car sitting there that somebody had tried to go through the wheel spike shit, so the car's tires were all flat. Right? There was nobody in it. Like, some crazy stuff happens there at that border, and apparently people show up there in cars all the time and just get their car taken. So I feel pretty lucky that even at the ferry, they didn't decide to keep my truck. So now that's Saturday, and the ferry isn't until Tuesday now. So I missed the Saturday ferry. Now I'm waiting. I get a whole different Marriott that was nicer and closer to the ferry. And I go there, and those people are super nice. So now I'm in La Paz, stuck for 3 nights. I get 3 nights. They actually gave me a deal on the hotel room. They knocked like $30 off a night, so it was $100 a night. Super cool of them. Super appreciate that. The people here are so nice. I could just go on and on. But now I'm there, and then Monday I go back to the ferry to get the paperwork a day early, just so there's no problems, right? So I get to the window, and the lady is like, "You gotta fly back to Tijuana." What? Like, the kind of paperwork you need, you only can get that at the border. But from an office just exactly like this one. So I'm like damn near in tears. I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me. How am I going to pull that off? Like, holy shit. And then she says, "I could lose my job." And then she does it. And then I give her $100 for doing it. So now I have my paperwork. And I head to the ferry. This doesn't stop. And I get there, and the paperwork, hey, got my paperwork. And then they're looking at now they're back to the other paperwork, the paperwork that I had originally, and the trailer. And now I can open the trailer because I had the lock cut off. Okay, great. So I open the trailer, I can look in there. I don't like looking in there because friggin' was rough, and I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see the damage, so I would dwell on it. I just and they're just like, and just, because there's one person that speaks English, and then there's 2 or 3 that speak Spanish, and they're speaking Spanish, and they're like, "Who gave you this paperwork, a man or a woman?" Back to the paperwork I just got. Now I'm like, oh shit, this poor woman's gonna lose her job. Was it a man or a woman? And I tried to just not answer, but that wasn't gonna happen. And I'm not gonna lie, because it just opens cans of worms, But yeah, I was like, so, and then they're showing me on the paperwork. They're like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I paid." And they're like, you didn't pay for that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I paid $1,400 for that to get that in." And then they're like, to them, she goes, "Oh, blah, 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 blah," and they're laughing and shit. Like, what happened here? And then she's like, "The money isn't listed here," or something like that. It should say the money on the paper. Oh. Huh? So at this point, I'm just like, it's just so, I have no answers. The answer I've given is I'm a refugee. I ran out of the country fast as I could. I made mistakes. I'm sorry. And did a lot of smiling and saying I'm sorry, and just, be very, very, very careful not to do anything wrong, because they all had guns. So now, the ferry, right? You have to pay to get on the ferry. All right. So I'm there, and I go in there, and guess what kind of money the ferry doesn't accept? $100 bills. Guess what I only have? Yeah. So now my truck is and trailer are checked in to the friggin' uh to the ferry thing, right? And now I have to go back to La Paz, which is quite a ways, right? And exchange $100 bills in their little exchange places for money, which the rate in La Paz was like under $17. In Mazatlan is $19.10. So I mean it's a couple pesos better in Mazatlan for some reason. Mazatlan, sorry. So now the I have to get a cab. Boom. Now back there, getting flopping money, coming back. It was to get on the ferry 20 over 25,000 pesos, which is like 13 or $1,400, something like that, right? And then the taxi fee and all. Okay, so now finally I have my ticket. I'm sitting, and it's different ferry than I've ever been on. I've been on ferries up in Washington, going between Washington and Canada, and Canada and Canada, and Washington and Washington. I'm in line for the ferry. And the guy right in front of me, he gets out and starts praising. He's in Mexico, praising Trump for kicking out Mexicans. Yeah, very obese person, and that kind of cuts into the ability to think. So, anyway, I'm always cordial, even when people are just obviously. So, anyway, like, why would you go to somebody's country if you want those kind of people thrown out of your country? You know what I'm saying? Like, go to a country that of people that you don't want to have kicked out of your country, right? I mean, illegal. The friggin' unemployment rate is like 1% or something like that. Immigrants are like, what's keeping the country afloat? But yeah, go ahead, kick them all out, Einstein. So anyway, finally get on the ferry, and this was the worst night of sleep I had on the entire trip. It's basically like being in an airplane, but the people that are running the ferry, it's free dinner. So right before the ferry leaves, yeah. So before the ferry leaves, you're on the ferry forever. Like it takes forever to load it. And that's what I was saying. All the ferries I've been on, you load them up, you drive on, and you drive off, right? This one is only one way. You drive on, and they're full of semi trucks and mainly semi trucks. Semi truck trailers, like they've got their own little loaders. So the companies will drop a trailer off. The ferry people will load that trailer on there and then unload it on the other side. Then there's full semis that have, their own truck and trailer hooked up, and cars, and little old me with my cargo trailer. So I get on there, boom, go up, realize that I'm sleeping in a seat. But, okay, so now back to the dinner thing, right? They give dinner for free. It's part of the whatever. I don't know if there was breakfast too or not, but I mean, I felt like hell when I woke up. It was brutal, pain everywhere from sitting in this chair. Oh, and I brought all my stuff. Like I was gonna be able to like brush my teeth and so now I'm dragging around like I was gonna be able to use my laptop. I'm dragging around my laptop and all my shit, and there ain't nowhere to be. It's a chair. I could have left that shit in my truck and not. Oh, but anyway, I didn't realize any of this. So now, what do they feed everybody? It's Mexico, you can guess. Holy fuck, man. It's like being in an airplane overnight with a bunch of people that just got fed beans. I'll let you do the math. So, most miserable night's sleep I've had by far in, I can't even remember when I had that bad of night. I mean, just, I don't think I slept at all. It just felt horrible. And I get so little sleep, right? Okay, so now everybody's go get in your cars and your trucks. Okay, get in the trucks. I got my mirrors pulled in on my truck. I should have pulled them out before I started rolling. Another mistake. This lack of sleep. So now I'm sitting here in a line of cars, and there's pretty much just trucks on both sides, right? And both these cars are going. I can see through the windshields. I can see somebody's doing this. It looked to me like they were just trying to empty my whole row because we were little vehicles, right? Okay, my trailer hits a rear view mirror of a semi truck, right? Because he's got his mirrors out. I put mine in, and then because I didn't put mine back out, I didn't see the trailer hit the mirror. Okay. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Zero sleep. And this guy is like, he's like at 1,500 pesos. Like, think of them, like, so, and I offered him 200 pesos right away, right, for the hassle. Because it's just like, you can see the mirror's been taped. It's got multiple dings on it that obviously just didn't come from me. It had previous dings, And he's like, look, it just fucking swings. It just swings now. And it's like, the thing, it's one bolt. These things are made, like whatever happened, they're made just to come apart, fix something really easy, go back together, no problem. It's not like some thing, right? And so I offer, right, sorry, here's 200 pesos, right? Which is, I mean, that's like the cost of like, I mean, I've had some excellent freaking meals here for 200 pesos, 220 pesos. Excellent food, like top notch Sam. Everything just primo, 220 pesos, right? So I hadn't been, whatever. So he wants 1,500 pesos, which is like a little under $100, right? And I'm just like, it's not that big a deal. And I'm like, flopping my mirror around. No problem, right? So we get to 1,000 pesos. Okay, here you go. Sorry. And I was saying sorry the whole time. But he's like, see, he's saying sorry. I did it. Yeah, I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry I did it. But I don't think it's that big a deal. Like that one plate comes off and you probably just flip something or maybe put, I mean, it's just not a $100 fix. It's like a $5 fix, honestly. Like it probably happens all the time. He had duct tape on the mirror, on a different part. So anyway, that's like how it got to Mazatlan, right? So now I'm in Mazatlan and I'm like, I need a phone because I need to get basically here. I need a bank, I need a phone, I need a place, that's pretty much what I need, right? So I go get a phone, I call a real estate agent, and she starts trying to find me a place. I go find a hotel, Marriott, City Express. You guys are awesome. They had a big, nice parking lot, super easy to get in. Had a big park that my truck was literally back in a part of the parking lot that had a blocker across it that nobody could even get over there, right? It was freaking so, because when I was originally coming in, I thought I might have to go to this. There's a RV place that that I saw through the maps has like boats stored there. So I was like, well, that's a place I might be able to go and store my truck and trailer because it's a big thing. This is not, there's not a lot of like huge parking. Everybody's cars, little cars. This truck's a monster truck. Compare F-350 and a 14-foot trailer, which is an 8-foot wide trailer. I mean, it's a lot to drive. I don't want to drive at all here, right? So they freaking even let me leave it there while I secured my condo, right? Which I'm paying less for this condo than I was for fuel. I mean, it's nuts. $200 a month for insurance, $300 a year for insurance. So anyway, I start. Oh, I get the phone. I get the real estate. I'm there at the city, and I'm starting to work on the residency part. But you have to have a place before you can really do anything, right? So once I got the place, at that point I could start working on trying to get an ID so I can get a bank account, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days. First day, I go, and they're like, okay, you need to do this and this and this. Okay, I go. I got stuck here waiting for a plumber, so I didn't get out of here nearly as early as I should have the next day. So I got there the next day and late with the wrong paperwork. They gave me a website and they're like, here's the website, do this, that. I'm looking at the website. I don't know, there's so many little boxes to check. And I'm like, I had no idea what I was supposed to check. I didn't get very good directions. I checked the wrong box, filled out the wrong form, took the wrong form in. Okay, no, you did the wrong form. Then I got good directions, more specific directions, how to figure out what I needed to do specifically. Okay, great. Go back. The third day, which is today, and they are requiring me to do, for I don't know what reasons, 4 years, right? Which is like third. So they give me all this paperwork. I need like 19,737 pesos. I had 17,000. I had like almost 18,000 pesos, right? That's it. Like out of all the money I left with, I am now down to less money than I needed to get my freaking ID, which I need to get a bank, which I need to have money. So I'm like, holy cow, this is becoming like a nightmare because I'm going to come up with money. So I've met a couple people here last time, a restaurant owner, and this. So I'm like, I literally, can I borrow it? And this one person, I'm sorry, I just don't have it. Another person, I'm sorry, I just don't have it. And then he goes, there's a pawn shop. Oh, pawn shop. Okay. So now I'm going to the pawn shop. And in the process, I text the some kind of person that runs, I think, the whole apartment complex, but I'm not quite sure. She might just be running a network of rented places. I'm not really sure. Super freaking nice woman, super helpful. Like, even sent some kind of dessert thing. I don't eat gluten, so I kindly said, "Oh, thank you," but gave it to the guy that came to do the work. I'm like, "Here, you eat it." I don't eat that. Picky. So anyway, I texted her, I told her what was going on. And now I've never seen this before. She sent me a code that I could, and I had no idea what to do. So she's like, hand the phone to somebody. So there's this guy. He's there at the bank. And I'm like, hey, por favor. And he gets on the phone and he goes over to the thing and he starts pushing all the stuff. And all of a sudden the money comes out. I'm like, holy cow, this woman just loaned me 2,000 pesos. Oh, such a nice woman. She was a nice woman before she loaned me the pesos. And I feel absolutely horrible asking anybody, the owner of the restaurant that I asked. I did hook him up with some stuff that I didn't want to take back with me, so I really didn't feel that bad. But he's just like, I'm broke. And I was like, he has a second restaurant now too, so I was like, I hated even asking people. I hated it. I don't, But I asked 3 people. The third person I asked actually gave it to me. Okay. So now I'm kind of wild, and there's the pawn store, right? And I'm like, I just now have the money that I need to pay, which this is a holiday right now. This is Carnival. Okay. So the banks close early. The immigration office close early. So now, and then they don't open again until next Tuesday. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I have my, even if all that wasn't true and I was able to get to the bank and I was able to pay the fee and then get back to the immigration office and give them the paperwork and then get the ID, even if all that transpired, right? I still was going to have no money, pesos, or I don't have anything right now. Well, now, so I'm a pawn shop, right? Now I walk in there, nobody speaks English. Okay. So I go back outside, I get out the friggin' phone, start typing out my friggin' situation, right? Translate, go in there. So now this is where Mazatlan specifically or Mexico in general, I couldn't say because my experience is Mazatlan. I've been in one other place in Mexico and was there with a buddy, so I didn't really, mingle with the locals much at all. So, but now this woman that's working at the hawk shop calls her husband or boyfriend, and he speaks perfect English and is super fucking cool contractor dude style or maintenance. He owns his own little maintenance company, right? So now where I live and where all the everything is are 2 opposite ends of Mazatlan. And I've been on my bicycle going from one end of Mazatlan to the other end of Mazatlan and back over and over. Now, when I found out I messed up my paperwork the day before, I'm jumping back now, I actually made another crazy mistake. I'm thinking I'm going to be able to get all the way back out here, do all this paperwork, and then get all the way back there the same day. And that was just ridiculous thinking. There was no way it's possible. The immigration place closes at 3, and I wasn't there until 1:30. So getting all the way back out here, but I'm not, I'm not on it right now. So now I dropped $500, 500 pesos on a taxi to come all the way back out here with my bike to come do the paperwork. And then I email it and I go all the way back down on my bike and I get down to the place where I get the prints and the copies, and I get there and I'm like, I didn't even need to go this far. But I'm like, oh, well, at least I have this taken care of today and I can go the next day and everything will be great. Okay, and that's where we are now. So now I'm back in the pawn shop, right? And this woman, her boyfriend shows up, husband or something like that. He drives me all the way out here. And I open up my trailer, and the first thing I got there is my generator, right? Perfect. Giant freaking tool that, is worth money. And I don't have to dig in the freaking trailer because it's still packed, right? And so, he's going back and forth like with the people at the freaking office. I don't even think he works there, which I thought he was like the owner or something like that, but he's not. He's like the husband or boyfriend of the woman that works there. So he's just like doing me a favor. He picks me up, drives me all the way back out here, drives me all the way back there. Dude's totally cool, chat the whole time, speaks perfect English. But, I mean, just out of the goodness of their heart, just being nice people, helping people out. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was just like, so now I got my generator in the pawn shop, and I have all the money that I need to pay for my immigration, because they wanted me to pay for 4 years, which it's like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. And they just checked the 4-year one. Like, I didn't even have an option to pay 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. I had to pay 4 years. There was no other, the most expensive. Everything's been the most expensive. So now I've got the money I need to get the ID, but the ID office isn't open until Tuesday. So Tuesday comes, and I will get the ID. Then the whole next, this is like a video game where everything is a freaking new adventure. Everything is like, like go over here and get this and go. I mean, it's just like a video game. Like go on this quest and you go over here. Okay. So after I got the ID, the quest is the bank. Now I already have a potential issue because the bank wants a utility bill to reference for some reason. Like an ID issued by the government that says the address on there. And like the freaking rental agreement, not enough. They need a utility bill. Well, the person that owns this condo that's renting it to me doesn't want to change, because when I move out, like apparently changing the name on these utility bills isn't just easy, right? There's a process that he doesn't want to go through when I move out. Okay. I can pay the utility bills without my name being on them. So here's what hopefully is going to work, that I'm going to go in, I'm going to pay some part of the utility, put some money somehow. Hopefully I can get a receipt with my name on it and the information on it that will pair up to a utility bill, and hopefully that'll be good enough for the bank. Because honestly, if the bank is just like, oh no, you have to have a utility bill in your name, then I am I mean, it is terrifying. I've been terrified for so long. It's like I had my payments held by the companies that owe me the money. I just sent them an email, was like, hold my payments until further notice. And I was really hoping that I was going to have every single thing by the time payment time came around again. And now, no. I mean, hopefully I can get a bank account and get the number in the bank account in one day, in the same day as I get my ID. If I do, then hopefully I'll be within the time the vendors send out money. because they only send out money. Maybe they'll make an exception and send mine out since they've been holding it. Maybe I'm not expecting anything from anybody. I'll beg. But okay, and so that's where I am now. This has been, oh, and why I didn't film a bunch of stuff. Why, number one, like that distraction I just didn't need. So at one point I set the GoPro up on the dash and I was clicking it and, getting some recordings of the shots of where I was and all that. Okay, so now I walked through the ferry just to kind of show the ferry. It's like, I had nothing else to do. I could show the ferry. So I walk around, my card's full. Okay, well, I got my laptop, so I whip out the laptop. The laptop battery is so bad that it lasts a very short amount of time. And I have had just nothing but problems with formatting the frickin' GoPro. For some reason, like the app just don't work and I couldn't figure out what to swipe on the back. I think I have it figured out now, but at that moment I didn't. So I was trying to format the GoPro disk drive, whatever they call those, the flash drive. I clicked on it and I clicked format. The stupid Windows 11 pulled up my freaking data drive instead. Right? I didn't check the drive because I clicked on the drive and it was even highlighted. So how Windows decided to, and I even checked, and they do, for some dumbass reason, when you open format on a freaking disk drive in Windows 11, it will open up a drive that's on your thing. So I'm scrambling to try to format this disk so I can go get more footage. And what do I format? My data drive. So I lost probably most of the data, most of the videos I shot to actually, cut in and all that, I lost. But I did get all the shots you've seen here because I've probably already showed them. All right. And yeah, that's the story as I remember it now after spending all day running around, being here, there on my bike, coming back out here to grab the freaking it's just been, but every day has been like this. Like every single day I've been here has just been a scramble trying to get to the point. Especially when I got the apartment and it unlocked the ability to get a residence card. Like that was, just exhausted for so long. Like it's just been exhausting. But you know what? I'm alive and I'm safe and I'm not in the fascist shithole of the United States. Yeah. Have a wonderful night. Subscribe. Peace.
Thank you for watching my video, me. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for watching my video.